Hello, welcome back. I'm Sam, and this is SC Classics. It's the last Mark 1 video. Do I seem happy? I am happy. All being well, if all goes to plan in this video, the car is finished and on its way back to the customer. But there's plenty of hiccups to deal with first, so I'll get straight into the video. Right then, back to it with old blue. So had it running this morning. It's misfiring. I think it needs a set of spark plugs. There's a little oil leak off the breather, off the side of the block, which you can just about see up there. Turns out the breather was actually loose. They just pushed it on, and that was that. So tighten that up. That's fixed the oil leak. The rocker cover bolts were loose. I fixed them. Just tighten them up. We've got coolant leak from a hose joint. You can just see the two clamps up there. It seems to be leaking from there. It's not a biggie, but there is a problem. There's quite a significant problem. I did try putting it in gear last week. I had it idling, tried putting it in gear, and as I'm pushing on the gear stick with the clutch depressed, it's pushing the car. So for me, I thought, right, clutch cable needs adjusting up, no biggie. So today I've slackened it off now, but I adjusted the clutch cable up, started the car up, got inside the car, pressed the clutch down to the floor, and I can hear whining, grinding, not a nice noise. So obviously the clutch cable's adjusted up too high. So as you can see in there now, you can just see a scratch, and that's because it's touching on the cover. So I'm thinking, so it's touching on the cover, it still won't select gears, something's wrong. So I went on to, bear in mind this is a Butcher Racing BRE adapter plate, clutch fork conversion to convert its cable, and gearbox mount. So I've gone on their website and there's a fitting guide on the clutch forks. I'm thinking maybe there's some adjustment that I'm missing. Well, it's a bit more serious than that. So again, let me get the torch. If you look at this clutch fork, you can see this side's smooth and this side's got a strengthener on it. So it's also, you can't really see it from here, but it's got a slight bend to it. So what I will do, after looking on the website, I will put a picture in the top corner of this clip right now, and you can see what the problem is. Yes, you guessed it, the clutch fork's been fitted wrong. It's been fitted 180 degrees out, i.e. this strengthening rib should be this side. And that is why when I'm pressing the clutch, it's touching on the cover. It's still not selecting gears. So yes, you guessed it, the gearbox has to come back out. I did get the starter motor working. This is just a second-hand Transit Connect starter. I fitted that, starter motor's working great. Luckily enough, I shaved the bell housing out, so now the starter fits straight in without cutting the nose off it and modifying it. So it works, starts first time, cranks every time, brilliant. But will not select gears because of this. So now, lucky enough I didn't put gear oil in it. So it's prop shaft off, perhaps drop the exhaust system to get the prop shaft back past, gearbox cross member out, gear stick out, clutch cable out, suspend the engine mounts off, lower the cross member. Just a whole nightmare considering I've already done this once. Should have known, I should have known. I blame myself for not checking. Anyway, no point crying about it. Let's get to it. This car has to be finished ASAP. There we go. I think it took me about 40 minutes. Didn't take the engine mounts off this time, just loosened them off the block. So the bolts that hold them to the World Cup cross member, actually through the mounts. Obviously released the cross member off the chassis legs. Engine suspended. And there we go. So that confirms it. Again, I'll show you, I'll put the picture in the top corner here and you'll notice the problem. You can see where it's touched. Thankfully, I noticed it before I went too far. It was literally pulling all the way like this, when really, you can see it's recessed, so it'll push the bearing out further. There's the witness marks, yeah, there. You see where it's just been catching on the edge of the rivets. Right then, let's not mess around. Let's get this clutch fork off, spun around, and refitted. And there we have it. Flipped around. I did clean up this area a little bit more as well, because I could see some marks where the starter was just touching. So now it's got plenty of clearance for the starter motor. Clutch forks the right way around. All being well, we should let's get an airline and blow that out, make sure there's no leftover swarf in there, and put it back together again. Right, moment of truth. Will it select the gear? No. Could just need the cable adjusting. Right, try again. Attempt number 2. I've adjusted the clutch cable up a little bit. Let's see what it does. Starter works every time, which is good. Bit of a miracle when you consider that it's a Cosworth YB engine, adapter plate, Mazda gearbox, and Transit Connect starter. Battery light does go out when you give it a rev, but it's cold and that'll going to start revving the knackers out of it. Will it select the gear? Well, if you press the clutch all the way and it's not grinding, which is good. Yes. Cold start doesn't seem to be too effective. Second. I'll take that as a success. God, it's noisy in here. Right, success, we're getting gears. I might just adjust it up a little bit more because it feels like it's got a bit of a crunch to it. But we've got gears and it's not grinding when you press the clutch, so that's a success. And booster off. Yeah, I'll adjust it up a touch more and lock the cable off. Torque the prop shaft up, so I've only nipped it up for the time being. And then we're actually a little bit further along with the list. Not much. Anyway. It needs a set of plugs. It's misfiring on cylinder 4. I haven't got any air source. Pick some up tomorrow. It needs antifreeze. Yeah, soldier on. There we go. Back together. Adjusted the clutch cable up a touch. Clutch fork's now in the correct orientation, so we now have a clutch. So I can tick that off the list. I just need to torque the prop shaft and fill the gearbox oil. Yeah, I think all in all, I complained about taking the gearbox out again, but I think all in all it was about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes to get the gearbox out, spin the clutch fork and reassembly, so not too bad at all really. Could have been a lot worse. Thankfully I've done it once before, so I had an idea, but yeah, now we can carry on with the rest of the list. Just clutch, I can tick that off. Done. Breather leak, I fixed that as well. Rock cover leak, I fixed that. Oh, we need to address a coolant leak. I think it's just a hose clamp. Yeah, we're getting there. Not a great deal left to do at all. Another job ticked off. Lift pump mounts. I did put new ones on there, got them off Amazon. Maybe that was the problem. One of them survived, one of them didn't. Ripped clean off. Now, I'm not blaming Amazon completely, because I did have a fuel leak, and I think the fuel ate away the adhesive in it, maybe, not sure. But anyway, it's swapped out. The pump's mounted, sturdy enough, do the job. And I wasn't just replacing one, although it was identical in size. I figured change the two. Number one ticked off, out the way. Antifreeze need to pick up tomorrow. Misfire, there's probably spark plugs, I'll do that tomorrow as well. Coolant leak. So coolant leak looks to be coming from, let's get the torch down there so you can see. There's a join in that pipe there. Now it seems to be coming from the join itself when it was running. The hose clamp feels tight from here, but there goes the torch. Hope it's gone somewhere nice. It feels tight, but it might just be an old clamp and semi-seized and not clamping properly. So I'm going to get my hand down there, get some oil on it, see if I can get it to tighten up some more, see if that cures it. If not, I'm going to have to strip it down and investigate further, which isn't, well, you can see now. God, there's no space. I'm just seeing some water on the edge of it. Not am I imagining things? Could have sworn I've seen some water on there. But yeah, basically it's running down and off the bottom outlet on the radiator. So yeah, let's investigate that. So it's not going to be that straightforward. With the carb running, when you give it some revs, it's actually squirting out the joint. So, well, you can see something's, well, you can't see because it's all blurred. Yes, you know, it's squirting out from this joint, literally squirting forward, and that's after I've nipped up the hose clamp. So something's amiss, something's not right. I've got to get the hose off and do a bit more digging. Something else I noticed today when I was digging around is, so look at this hose, it looks fine until you get up close, and there's actually a join there with no clamps on. So once that got a bit of pressure on there, I'm sure that would have leaked like a good one too. So that'll need a couple of clamps on it, as well as fixing this hose. I've undone the bottom clamp, I've got a bucket under there, trying to catch the water. I'm sure it won't catch a bit of it. There we go. I need to drop coolant out of it anyway because oh, it's actually catching some. That's good. First time ever. It's going to be having, I need to drop it out because I want to put some red antifreeze in. I haven't got any in stock at the minute. Oh, yeah, I'll pick some up tomorrow along with Gearbox oil and some spark plugs. Hopefully cure that misfire. Right then, let's get this hose off. So thankfully, I think it is just a knackered hose clamp. You can actually see light under there. And you just go. Yeah, I think it is just a knackered hose clamp. It looks tight. In actual fact, it's not. So I'll get that whipped off, get a new clamp on there. It's also cocked, so it's probably not sealing very well anyway. Yeah, you can see it's not clamping at all, so could be just a hose clamp. Thankfully, that seems to have done the trick. God, there's just no good place for that. I ran it up, got it warm, and no leaks whatsoever. So that was a simple fix. It was just a rusty old hose clamp not doing its job. That's sorted. I will need to drain the coolant out of it tomorrow, so I can put some antifreeze in. But for the time being, I had to test it, make sure it worked. and it has. So there's another job ticked off the list, no more coolant leak, which is good. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I'm definitely going to do something. So not the most productive day. I've got the window seals done. Well, that one, just need some clips for the outer for this side. Bobbins for the fuel pump, the mount, I think I've done them last night, I'm not sure. Tidying some things up in here. I found a gear stick. I'm going to collect it tonight from Wigan. So that'll have the retainer plate on it. It's also got the correct gear knob for the Mazda gearbox. So at least we'll be able to find some gears. That solves that problem. Electric fan is wired in. So we have our twin relays up here to an earth, little loom, off into the engine bay and off to the kill switch. What I've done is I've bridged the sensor on the radiator, so really, once I power this up, that should be live now. Yes! Oh, I'm assuming both fans are working. Yeah, you can see the wire perfect. There we go, both relays clicking, brilliant. Another job I can tick off the list once I've plugged that fan switch back in. Just try cable tying some bits up, try and make it as neat as possible. Not easy when there's so much wiring, but not a lot more I can do really. I've ordered a new temperature gauge because this one doesn't seem to be reading any temperature whatsoever. So that'll be here tomorrow. I can at least run it for long enough. Well, now I've got a fan, I can run it for longer. Back to it for the night shift. It's actually 9 o'clock. Been back about half an hour. I actually went to Wigan, picked up and squeeze in a replacement gear stick because this retaining plate was missing, and also we had no gear knob. Much better. Yeah, obviously with the RX-8 gearbox, I had no idea, and the owner had no idea on gears where he was. So now it's all fixed. Another job ticked off the list. Next, I want to drop coolant out with it. I keep banging my head on the roll cage because the driver's seat's really high and crooked. It's because it's the wrong seat. It's bolted in there just for the time being, along with the steering wheel. The owner knows they both need changing. What I want to do is lift it up a bit, get a bucket under there, drop the coolant out, fit these 2 hose clamps that are missing, because as soon as we get some water pressure they're going to leak. I also mounted the header tank because it was loose earlier on. I'm going to replace the coolant, get some red antifreeze in there. I've had it running a couple of times and it's got a misfire and I'm struggling to get to the bottom of it, so I'm going to have to do a bit of testing on it. The problem I had is when I ran it initially before I stripped it down, it was literally 30 seconds. So I didn't really get any. I had it running like I did, the engine sounded good, but I couldn't tell you it was running on all 4 cylinders properly or not. It had no coolant in it. Well, it had a little bit of coolant in it, but you know, I didn't run it for long. So now it's got a misfire. I don't know if it's something it's always had or something it's developed since we put it back together, but I'm going to investigate further. Worst case scenario, well, it's not worst case scenario, I might have to buy a set of plugs for it. But I went somewhere locally today to buy some. They wanted like 55 quid or something for a set of 4 spark plugs, which is just ridiculous. You can get them online for like near half that. So hopefully I can find somewhere a bit cheaper for some spark plugs. You might not even need them, it might not be that issue, but it's something I need to look into. I also tried getting gear oil for it, and again, £25 a litre. So I'm going to shop around and try and save the owner money because we're out of budget now. I just had to pay £50 for that gear lever, and all I needed was a little retaining ring and the gear knob. But without it, the car's unusable, so needs must. The owner bought the gearbox off eBay with no gear stick, and trying to find a gear stick on its own is nigh impossible because everyone wants to sell them with a gearbox, obviously. So luckily I stumbled across this on Marketplace. I messaged the seller. He wanted £80 for it originally. I messaged him and said, would he take 50 for it? He didn't reply, but then when I actually looked at his profile, it turns out I know the seller, Paul Retro Wiring Solutions. Got his phone number, give him a bell, and he was fine with me popping over tonight and collecting it. He did actually text me on the way over there and told me not to ring the doorbell because his little lad's just gone to bed. I didn't get that text message and rang the doorbell. Sorry, Paul. I was using my phone as my sat nav, so I didn't get to hear it. Anyway, so yeah, gear stick's done. Can tick that off the list. Well, I already have. Now I'm going to get it lifted up a bit, drop the coolant out of it, and put some fresh coolant and antifreeze in there after I fix this hose. Just slip the bottom holes off a touch. Hopefully it doesn't spill out slowly without flooding the workshop again. I've left the cap on so it creates a little bit of a vacuum. So, day after fitting the gear stick, and I ran out of data last night on my phone, not data, storage. Deleted a few bits so I can record some more. So much content recorded that I'm struggling to keep up. Basically, I've diagnosed it as 2 injectors are dead. So I was dead on number 2 and number 4. When I say dead, I'm not completely dead, just really not firing properly. You pull the plug lead off and it makes very little difference. I know the spark there. So what I did was I went and swapped. So number 4 was dead, number 3 was good. I swapped them 2 injectors. Number 2 was bad, number 1 was good. Swapped them 2 injectors. Started it up. We're now dead on number 1, dead on number 3. Pinpoint bad injectors. Now, I'm not at all surprised by that because the fuel that I took out this car was like varnish, like creosote brown, awful. So it's probably gunked the injectors up. Thankfully, my good mate Chris at EFI Parts of Runcorn has the ability to test and clean the injectors. So I'm running them over to him this afternoon. Hopefully he can put them right there and then, bring them back, get them back in. Hopefully that's the car running on all 4 cylinders. So it's really going to come down to the wire with this one. Trying to cure a misfire. Turns out it's injector problems. So took the injectors to my good friend at EFI Parts, Chris. He ultrasonic cleaned them, tested them. We just can't bring them back to life. I think one of them's running at about 50%, the other one's running at about 20%. So at this point I can't even test drive the car because, you know, the last thing I can do is, the last thing I want to do is test drive it and damage the engine because the injectors aren't right. I have got a lead on some injectors locally. I'm just waiting for an answer on them. I've rang everywhere trying to get them, and it turns out it's virtually impossible to get these old green Bosch 803s. You can get modern ones, but it'd be a case of having to fit them and maybe mess around with mapping. We don't want to do that. We're running out of time. This car's been collected Saturday. It's now mid-morning Thursday, and I still haven't drove this car. Brakes are all bled up now. I've been chipping away through the list. It starts on the button every time now, everything's functioning, but it is down. I wouldn't say down to 3 cylinders. It's about 3, yeah, 2 and a bit. Just let's put a new temperature gauge in because the other one didn't work. I didn't film it because, as I said, I'm pushed for time. New batteries in, brakes are bled, everything's moving in the right direction. The only thing holding me up right now is injectors. And gear oil. So gear oil will be here this afternoon. Obviously wheels and torque and the misfire, which is the injectors. That is it for the list. We're done. So all being well, this lead pays off and I can get these injectors today, and we can get a test drive. Like I said, there's going to be things that need adjusting, things that need tweaking. I don't want to leave it till the last day, so I want to test drive it today, and then it's a case of clean it up. Yeah, I could get new injectors. They're £700 for a set of Bosch greens, and we're already over budget, so that is not an option. So hopefully I can get some second hand locally fingers crossed. Wish me luck with it because I'm going to need it. Everyone I rang PJ Motorsport, Mash Tuning over in Crewe, Matt Lewis Motorsport, they all just laughed. He's like, no chance, you won't get them. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'm trying to think of what else I've done. It's been a blur these past few days trying to get it finished up, but we're getting very close now. I'll update when I know what's happening with these injectors. Hopefully the next update, the next bit of content to film will be the car running on 4 cylinders, ready for a test drive. Running on 4 cylinders, finally. Found 2 injectors, replaced number 2 and number 4 with the culprits. Much better. I also had a problem with the idle valve. It was idling at like 2,100 RPM. When I pulled it down, so I've been messing with the idle valve and over tightened it. The piston inside, done some adjustments, cleaned it out. Now idling at 1,000. Pretty happy. Next up, gearbox oil and run up the temperature, check the fan switch is working, and then test drive. Well, obviously, piston wheels, test drive. Right, so next up, fill the oil. As I've googled, this is the drain, this is the fill. Just fill up until it starts spilling out. So got myself a drain tub ready to catch it. So I tried buying this stuff from, I googled it, and it's 7590 GL4 specific oil for the RX-8 6-speed. And I went to Euro Car Parts, and this was £25 a litre. So I did what any normal person do and looked on Amazon, and it's now £9.99 a litre. So that's just arrived. I'm going to get it filled up. Like I say, it's supposed to be 1.85 litres, just filled till it starts spilling out. Get it done, and then we're nearly ready for the test drive. Well, it survived its first test drive. Managed to go up and down the road a couple of times, well, probably about 4 times actually. The only issue being the fan switch doesn't seem to be working, so what I've had to do is pull off the plug off the fan switch and bridge it to keep the coolant down, keep the temps down. I've got another one that should be here tomorrow. Refit that, fingers crossed, that cures the cooling issue. Brakes are working, everything's working as it should. I've got it back on the lift, and I want to adjust the ride height because it seems a little bit lower on the front, and it's also got a load of camber. So I think if I pull a bit of ride height out the front, just to level the car out, it'll also rectify a bit of camber. I want to get it back on the ramp anyway and spanner check now that it's gone up and down the road a couple of times. Just check it over, make sure everything's all right, no leaks, no problems. And then it's a bloody big clean, because it's filthy, as you can see. So yeah, check the levels, check it over. I think we're pretty much there. Finally we got there. So after me test drive, I thought I'd come back, get the Mark 1 on the lift, give it a check over, make sure everything's still tight, happy, you know, no leaks. So far so good. Pinion seal's got a bit of a weep on it. This axle isn't staying, so I'm not overly concerned about that. I did notice a weep on the tail shaft on the gearbox, and that is probably because the yoke is a little bit pitted. On the input on the gearbox, on the input on the prop. I know that seal's new because I fitted it, so I'm not doubting the seal. I'm leaning more towards a little bit of pitting on the prop. Yeah, apart from that, just put a tie on. Noticed there was a tie missed on the rack. Even now at this point, I'm still noticing little bits and pieces. What I want to do is lift the ride height up a touch on the front. I measured it out on the passenger side is 5mm lower ride height than driver's. So I'm probably going to lift this one up 25mm, lift this one 20 on the coilovers, just so, because it's sat nose down, it looks a bit like a hot rod, and it'll help with clearance on the sump and stuff as well. So yeah, all the brakes are checked, all the brake lines and All the fittings, they're all still tight, bone dry, which is good. Last thing I want is a brake line to start leaking, you know. Just checking everything over. Now that it's done, there's not a great deal of mileage, but it's been up and down the road a few times. Yeah, so far so good. Like I say, I'm gonna plan to check a few bits and pieces just to be sure, and then adjust that ride height. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. God, it's noisy in there. Everything works though. So I just went through the electrics one last time. The only thing that isn't working electronics wise is the horn, because there's a little terminal snapped on the stalk, and we're already way out of budget. So I'll let the owner sort that in good time. The other thing is, you might have noticed the electric fan's on permanent, and that's because the switch on the radiator is dead. So I've got another one coming. It'll be here in the morning. For the time being, I bridged the wire just while I took it out for a test drive. Last thing I want to do was cook his nice Cosworth engine. I've lifted the ride height up ever so slightly. It's not a massive amount, but now I know the body is level, side to side. Don't want to go wild on it. What next? Checked all the levels, everything's good. Checked all the brake pipes in the car, because the bias pedal box car, there's lots of connections inside. Checked all them, all bone dry. So the next thing to do is give it a hoover out, get rid of all the iron filings and bits of paint and stuff from when I was working in it. Yes, the seat's awful. They're not staying, along with the steering wheel. It's also awful. The owner plans on changing some bits and pieces when he gets it home, which is great, because the steering wheel is a Bakelite and it's cracked in about 3 or 4 places. The seat doesn't fit. The passenger side will not actually bolt in the car. Well, it will, but you can't shut the passenger door, because it's, I believe it's a driver's seat. Anyway, he's got other seats, so he's planning on changing the seats, so that's not an issue. For the time being, it can get loaded up onto a truck and get took away. Now he can tinker away and do his little jobs himself at home. The brunt of it, the main stuff, is done. It's running, it's driving, the electrics are all good. Apart from the horn, which is a simple 2 screws, well, ignition cowls off, a couple of screws to remove the stalk, plug the new one in, job's a good one. The main thing is, mechanically, it's sound, it's safe, it starts, it stops, it brakes, you know, it's safe. That was the whole goal, to get this car roadworthy and safe. Now, I'm not sure how safe it is with 165 tyres and 330 brake horse. But mechanically safe, that was my job, and I've accomplished it. I've got a wheel nut missing from there. I need to get one of them, and I've got a wheel nut missing on the fronts too. Need to pick some of them up. Yeah, I'm still, like I said, I'm still going over it, finding little bits and pieces that I'm not happy with, just tweaking it, just trying to make it the very best that I can. It's never going to be perfect, but I feel a whole lot better if I've done the very best that I can do with this car. Next job, I'm going to get my hoover out and get the inside cleaned up, start making it look as good as it can be, I suppose. Well, I'm calling it a night at that. Give it a clean, tyre pressures, wheel torques, hoovered it out, try to make it look presentable, clean all the engine bay, do all the wipe down and a quick once over, clean the wheels, tyres are a bit mucky still. Glass looks like it's been sanded down or shot blasted in places. So it's never going to look 100% covered in overspray and stuff, but Done the best with what I've got. Finger over there, give all the floors and stuff a wipe down. Like I say, it's not a show car, it wasn't here for that. I can't send it out covered in dirt, dust. So, just to make it look a bit better. Side looks good. Step quarter there. Da-da. Looks presentable. There's still things like bumper bracket bolts missing off the corners, same on the front. Again, it wasn't here for a full build. It wasn't. There's door trims missing. There's all kinds of bits and pieces. It wasn't a full build. It was make it roadworthy, make it safe, and that's what I've done. So yeah, little tweaks like that, you know, I'm sure the owner can do. Mirror's missing. I haven't even got a mirror for it, but it doesn't actually need it to be on the road, so that'll do. I need to fit. The only thing left on my list is we're missing a couple of wheel nuts, a fan switch, and we need to top the fuel up because it's probably getting a little bit low on fuel now. And we put 2 jerry cans in it, I've had it running quite a bit, and I've had the fuel rail off quite a few times, so it would have dropped a good amount of fuel. So yeah, that's as far as I'm going. I did get some thinners on the bumpers because it had masking tape on it that it got damp, and if anyone's experienced that, it's one of the hardest things to get off. Bit of thinners always helps. Clean up all right in there, looks presentable. Bonnet pull's not so great, but yeah, that'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. So, last day on the part 1. Come in this morning early, get collected the other time today. Still a cold start, but quite nice. First job, change the electric fan switch. Put a brand new one in there. Hopefully that cures the fan's not working. Let me know. Burning away nicely. It runs really good, really smooth, really nice. Very pleased with that. Yeah, just running up to temperature now, top the coolant up. See if this electric fan kicks in. Fingers crossed, I need it to. It should do because everything's new. We'll get to see. Drop some fuel to it, and we're done. That is it. That's as far as I'm going. Just put some fuel in it. I'm a bit gutted. I couldn't get it. I'm missing a wheel nut on this side on the front, a wheel nut on this side on the front, and a wheel nut on the back. I thought we had them all because there was what looked like spurs, but it turned out there wasn't enough. I couldn't get them in time. Thankfully, the car's not being driven; it's being recovered. So I'll get some ordered and go to his house and fit them. But other than that, it's as far as I can go. Panels don't fit great, you know, it's not here for aesthetics, it's here for mechanical. Mechanically, it's now safe running, driving, so I've done my job. And there it goes. Didn't think the day would ever come. Owner's been down, seen it, he's happy. So it's been collected and taken home. And that's it. It's done, finally. I didn't think the day would ever come. It's going away now. The customer is putting it into his garage and dealing with all the cosmetics, the seats, the steering wheel, that type of thing. So hoping to get it out next year. But yeah, what a battle that was. Probably one of the most challenging cars I've built. Anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, share, and also hit that hype button. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.